Well. Here we are. Shout out to Los Angeles Lakers. Every Los Angeles Lakers fan. Hold on, what the fuck is in this shit? Every Los Angeles Lakers fan. But they talking about trade AD. Trade Anthony Davis. And this ain't the first time I heard some shit like this. Which is why I'm asking the question. Why? For who? I'm gonna throw some names out there that was already spoke up. But I'm gonna also add in there that people saying AD is not a one. That's defined what a one is. What's a one? I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to ask any motherfucker, any guy, any dude, any person, you feel as though understand basketball, understand the NBA, because it's a difference in understanding basketball, understanding NBA basketball. Everything ain't the same. We could go run pickup right now, and it's not gonna be the same as playing in a system in the NBA or playing in a system in college or playing in a system. Period. You get what I'm saying? Because when you're playing in a system, you ain't got the green light to do the stuff that you do in a pickup game. In a pickup game, you can pass me the ball. I could do a million crossovers. Ain't no shot clock majority of the time, depending on what pickup game you playing, where you playing at. I could shoot as many times as I want, from wherever I want, because I got the green light. Because I'm not in the system. Ain't no coach telling us what to do and what plays to run and stuff like that. In the pickup game, we ain't really running no plays. Oh, forgot to mention. I don't usually do lives. I'm just doing this live because I want to ask a question. And plus, I don't feel like doing the regular way I record the videos. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? What's a one? On these NBA teams, you got a one. I use LeBron for example. He's a one. Everybody know that. Been a one his whole career since day one. Also, as his job from him being a one, because it's different kinds of play styles when you're a one too. Everybody don't play the same. Everybody got their own skill and approach to the game. LeBron's a point forward. So he handles the ball, brings up the ball, distributes the ball, he scores, he do it all. In the locker room, he also the glue guy among others. What else he does? He rallies his team in the good times and the bad. He's a leader. That's what a one does too. So is AD not a one without using LeBron? How can we say AD not a one? Because he don't play in the paint all the time. He ain't playing a big man game, posting up and all that all the time. That makes him not a one. Because the Lakers got a losing record, or they don't even have a losing record now. They got I think they tied. They at 500 or something like that. Does that make him not a one because of the Lakers record? Okay. He the first scoring option on the team. It's supposed to run through him. The game supposed to be played through AD. When you got a one, that's what you do. You play through that guy. Is he not a one because he got some games where he might be guarded by a player that's smaller than him, and he's not out outplaying this player or muscling this player, over stronger and overpowering him, dominating this player through here and there some games. Because you can't go through any season where you say a full season AD was dominated by inferior talent, inferior players that's not in his position, even though it's a positionless basketball now. You cannot go through any season any season and say throughout this whole season, AD was bullied or outplayed by lesser players. And it's frustrating. I keep it a buck. It's frustrating because you do got them games where, like bro said about Marcus Smart, you let Marcus Smart outplay you. You letting somebody smaller than you grab rebounds when you near that. You near the paint where you can grab the rebound and you letting other people who shouldn't really be getting these rebounds grab these threes. I agree with that 100%, my nigga. But how many games been played now? Almost 20. Probably exactly 20 now. If I'm not mistaken, it might be 19. But I always said I wouldn't give a whole judgment on this Lakers team until it's 20, 25 games in. Because that's enough time for you to figure it out, get it together, and start finding an identity. This team has no identity. So let's look at the Lakers for example. And I'm gonna get back to this number one shit, but let's look at the Lakers for example. Hella injuries starting of the year, preseason. A starter been out, ain't played one game yet. DNP. Trevor Ariza is our starter. He's a defensive-minded player. I don't care about his age. He a starter. That means the team had expectations. The team counting on him. Every starter in this league for any team, the team is counting on him regardless if he's a star or not. You're being counted on to fulfill a role, to fulfill your duties. And since all these players was out, the players got to replace them and pick up their roles, which some of them is not even capable to do. Some of them didn't come here and sign a contract to be doing this, taking on roles that they didn't sign up for. So, Kendrick Nunn out. Taylor Horton Tucker just coming back. LeBron been out. He just coming back. AD is injury prone. Keep it a buck. That's his whole career. Injury prone. So, when you watch this guy, you understand why he's not always banging in the paint. He know his body too. He know it's wear and tear. It's not going to hold up, and he ain't going to be available in the playoffs. So what you do? You try to pace yourself while y'all figure things out. Now, once the Lakers find a identity, and you see AD playing like shit and getting outplayed by lesser talent or smaller defenders, then we got a problem. But until then, I don't see what the problem is. And then you can't cherry pick and say, well, this game this happened, this game that happened, and pick 5 games out of 19 and say AD failed and got outplayed by lesser talent or a smaller defender or something. Because that's not a consistent thing that's going on. Because if you could point out several games or majority of games where he always dropping 20 plus or 30 plus, and you're trying to overlook that like it doesn't matter, how don't it matter? We're talking about AD and his game overall to this year. I ain't gonna talk about previous years. We ain't gonna talk about the Pelicans. They suck. They always suck. Pelicans ain't never been good or great. I say that. They've been good enough to make the playoffs and lose in the second round, about furthest they gonna go, or went. But you got so many dudes who saying this now who was the same people 2020 when the Lakers won the championship right before the playoffs. They said AD was the best player in the world. The best player on the Lakers. I asked why. Why do you say that? How? Oh, well, he lead the Lakers in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, yada yada. Not assists, my bad. Rebounds, blocks. Field goal possession. Did he say field goal possession? Multiple categories. And I said that doesn't make him the best player in the world. That makes him the number one on the team because he's the number one scoring option. He should be outscoring LeBron or any other player on the team. He's the number one scoring option. You're going to get the green light and more shots than any player on that team, including LeBron. But in the playoffs, I want to see him be the best player. I want to see him dominate and outplay every player on each team. That didn't happen because LeBron did it. Every playoffs, he dominated. And then when they played Denver, he led both teams in multiple categories. LeBron James. In the finals, he led both teams in multiple categories. LeBron James, even scoring, and walked away with the Finals MVP. And then some would probably try to say most valuable is not mean you're the best. You could be the most valuable to a team. That don't mean you're the best player on the team, which is true to a certain extent. Because a playmaker can be more valuable than your best scorer because he gets everybody involved and he's distributing the ball, of course. But when you got a player that can score, defend, play make, and distribute the ball to everybody, that would make him the best player on that team, wouldn't it? Because he ain't got to outscore the best scorer on the team as long as he's scoring up there with him and doing multiple other things. KD, probably the best scorer in the league, period. Probably the best scorer I've ever seen in NBA history. Does that make him the best player? No. Because if that was true, if you're going to go by, oh, he the best scorer, so we're going to call him the best player, he would be better than all-time players from number 1 to 10 out of the top 10 greatest players of all time. But he's not. And KD got a lot to work on, and he got a lot to prove from being carried in some situations. That's another situation. That's another topic for another day. But for that man to be the best player, 2020, when people said this, I challenged them. They didn't have any valid reasons or anything that made sense for them to come up with that conclusion. So this year, without using LeBron, how can you say AD is not a one? Now I'm gonna throw a hypothetical out there. Trevor Ariza come back, and this is the reason why I believe Vogel hasn't been fired yet, and I believe he will be fired soon if they don't find his identity in time. Let's say Trevor Ariza come back, play 8 games, ain't even a whole 10, 8 games, and the Lakers still don't know an identity. They still looking suspect. Also, Kendrick Nunn is back, and they looking like this. Vogel's gone. I believe so. Because look at the Lakers and look at this team. Yeah, they've been having some awful nights shooting. But overall, even with the losses, the Lakers been a shooting. They got the shooters. M.L.E, uh, what's his name? Kent Bazemore, um, Wayne Ellington, you know, the shooters they went and snatched up, and M.L.E was shooting, what, 50 something percent from three when he first got there. And then you got the other guys and add LeBron as a shooter too. Okay, they got some shooting around. They got the playmakers around them. LeBron is a playmaker. Kendrick Nunn is a playmaker. Malik Monk is a playmaker. Westbrook is a playmaker. AD, not a playmaker, but he can make plays. But we talking about definitive playmakers. All them dudes I just named as playmakers. You got that. You got slashes and scores. CHT, Kendrick Nunn, LeBron James. You got AD. You got M.L.E. You got the slashes and scores. You got defensive players, defensive-minded players. Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard. You got LeBron. You got AD. You got Kent Bazemore. You got Bradley, Avery Bradley. Okay. You got your rim protectors, AD, Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan. LeBron, to a certain extent, he could protect the rim. That's why they comfortable with pushing him to the power forward. All right. You got everything that a team needs as far as players. You got that at all. You got the superstars. LeBron, AD, Westbrook. So what's the problem? Vogel is one of the problems because he lost the locker room. Them guys ain't responding to him. How does a defensive-minded coach not get his team to play elite defense because they're not responding. And you can say, well, LeBron could get them dudes to play defense. They can respond to LeBron. That's not his job, even though it's to a certain extent it is his job, to a certain extent it's not. But it's mainly Vogel's job to do so. So if that's not happening after a certain amount of games, Vogel is out of there because they're not responding to him. And you could tell from the play from certain superstars like Westbrook. Westbrook out here trying to mimic Steph Curry. Look at Westbrook's whole fucking career. When you see him taking so many 3-pointers, just step back threes and all that, like he's Steph Curry, that ain't even his fucking game. He go to the paint and he distribute the ball. He rebound the ball. He's a triple double machine. You don't just trade that away, especially if you ain't getting that in return. So who you gonna trade Westbrook for? Ben Simmons will be the only option that's available for you to get if you're gonna get anything worth it. But he the newest nigga to the team. He's the newest star to the team. And like I said, what's been 19 games, 20 games, not even 25. They don't even have an identity, and they still got players missing. So once they get enough time for you to definitively say they should have an identity, and they don't, it's a problem. And the problem starts with Coach Vogel. He gotta go. But the reason why they got grabbed Westbrook is for future reasons and to get a ring this year, of course. But when LeBron retires, you still got Westbrook and AD. You still got a dynamic duo who should be a dynamic duo that could carry this team in the future. But what makes AD not a one? He plays elite defense. He's a defensive anchor. He's elite on offense. Because he's not playing the way you want him to play doesn't make him not a one. Chris Paul don't play how I want him to play, but he's still a one. He's still elite. He's still an elite point guard. His main focus, his main attribute is playmaking. That's why the Suns was able to get to the finals because they always said Devin Booker the shits. He's a beast, but he won't go nowhere without players around him. As soon as they got Chris Paul, what happened? Straight to the finals. And yeah, we can say injuries was helped them get there, but injuries are part of the game. It's the NBA. Keep it a buck. But Devin Booker couldn't do it without another guy with him who became the one of the team, the leader of the team, the veteran on the team that helped them get to where they need to be. I want Chris Paul to just go off offensively and just chuck up threes and go to the paint like he used to do when he was with the Clippers and with New Orleans. But that ain't his game. But I ain't going to drag what you talking about. But I ain't going to drag yo because he ain't playing how I want him to play. That's the last one I got on. You can have it. It's you. But I ain't gonna drag Chris Paul because he don't play how I want him to play. But that's what's going on with AD. He's not a one because he don't play how people want him to play. Yeah, he a beast when he get in that post. Of course, everybody knows that. But we also know he's injury prone. So all that wear and tear, banging in the post, scrapping for the rebounds and all that, like that you got to do when you playing in the post. It's wear and tear on his body, and his body ain't physically fit for that. He don't train his body to overcome that like LeBron does. So now people comparing his work ethic to LeBron's, which you can't really compare LeBron work ethics to nobody, except probably somebody like Kobe, because they built to last. AD, he's never been that his whole career. So what you gonna have to do with AD? AD, he gonna have to pace himself. He gonna have to preserve himself. We don't have an identity. He don't need to be banging, going hard, going crazy, and then get injured and miss the playoffs. And let's say we get our identity before we get to the playoffs, but AD is still out. Now you're missing your number one guy. Your one who the offense supposed to run through. He's not available for the playoffs like last year. Because last year he didn't get the rest that they should have got. And at times he tried to do what people been pushing him to do. Get in the paint and bang with these dudes, get in the post. And what happened? He got injured. Missed the playoffs. Gone in the first round. You gonna make the same mistake twice? Would that make sense? Would that make sense? That don't make no fucking sense at all. Now, once the whole team come back, they find an identity. Yes, it would make hella sense for him to play more into the post. But that's not his game overall. When he posts up, it's a high post. Majority of the time, it's not always a low post like Shaq would do. Low post, you know what I mean? One dribble, turn, bully, score. AD, more finesse. High post, he probably leave his man and get to the bank. He probably leave his man, do a quick crossover, step back mid range. One of the elite mid range games in the league. Anthony Davis. And I believe he want to be a small forward more than anything. But since the man has even told you he agrees that he's cool with pushing them to be a 5, but he can't do them duties if the team don't have an identity. It's a waste. Now, you can't risk getting injured and we don't have an identity, and then once we get an identity, you're missing. Now, if they get an identity, it's cool for him to risk that. But that doesn't make him not a 1. Who the lead in scorer on the Lakers right now? AD. Who's the, out of all the players that came back, all the players that's on the team right now, besides LeBron, who's the seasonal vet out of them? As far as this team being a Laker, AD. All right, so it starts with AD. He's the leader, and I'm saying all this disregarding LeBron. He's the leader. He's the number one guy, and he's the defensive anchor. Yes, all of that is on him, but people still have jobs, like Coach Vogel. He can't do everybody's job and do his job at the same time. Now, once everything started falling into place, Trevor Ariza come back, they Vogel find a fucking lineup. And I remember being on I forgot the dude's name. I was on his channel, and he was asking me like, "What you think about the Lakers and this stuff look crazy? What's going on?" I said, "Bro, we got a lot of injuries. You know what you're about to see for the first uh, uh, uh 20 games or something like that. You're gonna see a lot of ugly basketball. You're gonna see some ugly wins. You're gonna see some disappointing losses. You're gonna see some wicked lineups. You're gonna see a lot of lineups, a lot of closing lineups. Why? Because Vogel got a lot on his hands. One, he got a lot of players injured. Two, he got a lot of talented players. So you're gonna see times where M.L.E running the point. You're gonna see times where Kendrick Nunn is starting and he running the point. You're gonna see times where he taking the ball out of Westbrook's hands in the fourth quarter and giving it to somebody like Taylor Horton Tucker, Malik Monk, of course LeBron, but when LeBron out, Rondo. You're gonna see a lot of different closing lineups. That's what I told him. Because when you understand basketball, you know this type of shit. You're gonna see a lot of ugly basketball. You're gonna see a lot of different lineups. Because nobody can tell me what's the definitive lineup when they closing the game. What's the closing lineup? They can't say. They don't know. Because the Lakers don't even fucking know. When you start the starting lineup, what's the definitive starting lineup every time they play? Nobody knows. Why? Because you got a starter that haven't played one game yet. You got a key player off the bench who actually number 2 behind M.L.E. Second off the bench, Kendrick Nunn hasn't played one game now. So it's impossible for them to actually find an identity yet. And you could even take Kendrick Nunn out of the equation, Trevor Ariza out of the equation, and still look and see that they don't have an identity. And that's due to injuries and the players unresponsive to Coach Vogel. And then look at each player and look how they play their whole career. We talking about vets, bro. We ain't talking about a rookie team. We ain't talking about a bunch of rookies. how Westbrook played his whole career. He been a triple double type nigga his whole career. Did he ever go around shooting threes thinking he Steph Curry the way he doing? No. You see Bays more lax on defense, just like he has no effort. No. Since Rondo been with the Lakers, even the championship year, you see Rondo, he got to play 25 minutes tonight on a consistent basis. No, he didn't sign up for that. And he was injured a lot. He been injured this year too. That's not what these dudes signed up for. That's why they don't have an identity. That's why it sounds silly to say trade AD. Dude say trade AD for Miles Turner. Okay, let's compare Miles Turner to Anthony Davis. Individually, accolades for our stats and records, it's not even close. You look at other accolades, like, does he have a ring? He don't even have a ring. Has he ever been a leader of a team? No. AD has, and led his team to the second round. Once he got a better playmaker and a couple pieces around. They still was trash, but we compare him. Yeah, I'm good. Yes, we compare Miles Turner to Anthony Davis. It's no comparison, bro. Humble 803, what's up, bro? What's going on? I mean, I just had to come in here and get some shit out my chest real quick because this AD shit is getting out of hand. It's done got out of hand. It ain't getting out of hand. It's out of hand. But where I was at, Westbrook, okay. You look at all the other players and how they done their whole career and on other teams. You don't see that same effort or energy on this team yet. And it's a reason why. And nobody wants to look at the reason and call it an excuse. How is that an excuse if niggas is missing? If let's say I'm a player. I'm gonna go sign with the Lakers. When we sign up, I'm like, all right, the deal is I'm gonna be playing 11 minutes a night off the bench, and my role is just to playmate. I can score. I have the ability to score. Exactly, my nigga. These dudes, they just trying to find a way to blame somebody for their frustration instead of looking at basketball, looking at the shit how it is from a basketball perspective with your IQ. But let's say I got the ability to score at an elite level. But I'm a playmaker. That's what I love. That's what I do. I just like going out there distributing the ball, making these Magic Johnson type plays. You know what I'm saying? But the dude who I come in to replace for them 11 minutes, give him his rest, he's injured. Haven't played one game this year. So they asking me to start now. And since he's the actual scorer and playmaker, but he's a better scorer, they asking me to be the scorer now. So now I got to take on a role that I didn't even sign up for. So now I got to go out here and I got to put up buckets and still play me like I'm supposed to on a night-to-night basis. Excuse me. That's not our identity. We can't find our identity like that now because we don't have our starting point guard. So when I go out there, drop the link. How do I drop the link? I ain't did this shit in so long. I already dropped the link for you. I ain't done this shit. Hold on, bro. Hey, Jeff, give me a charger, yo. You got a charge for an iPhone? What y'all got? Join out here? Yeah, it's right here. Give me the box. Yeah. Hold on, bro. I'm ready. Plug this joint up and drop the link for you. Yeah, it worked. All right. Now, how do I drop the link? I ain't dropped the link in so long. Alright, I'm back now. Drop the link in this bitch. How you drop the link in this motherfucker? Create a banner. Where you at? Humble 803. Did the link drop in there? Send this link to you guys. Alright, hold on, bro. I'm gonna see if it dropped when I post it right here. You see the link now? Yeah, you know that's what I do. That's what I do on this channel. I listen to people takes. You know what I mean? If I rather if I agree with it or not, I respect everybody takes. But when I hear some dumbass shit and when I hear people capping, and then I listen to other shit they say that if it don't make sense, if it don't, you know what I mean, with what they been saying, yeah, I get in their ass about it. I gotta pull a card. I think I see you now, bro. There you go. Hey.
Yo, what up? You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro. You know I ain't never done this shit before. You know how we going live.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think last time I catch you on your live was like back in March. I say like a
Yeah, that
little
was my
minute ago.
birthday. We was in there drinking
Oh
the
yeah,
Don and shit. Matter of fact, I had some
That-
rose. That's my
yeah. I
birthday.
was like,
I'm
yeah, you had like
wilding
some,
though.
bro. It was lit though, bro. It was a lot of us in there, bro.
Yeah, see, I really don't go live, and then I don't be having the time to really fuck with this shit how I used to. And there's been so much shit going on throughout this year, and with all these deaths in
Oh
my
yeah,
family and shit, and still trying to keep my business afloat and all that.
oh yeah, for sure,
But
bro. Sorry to hear
now
that.
that
You
I
know,
see
with your people and
how to
stuff.
get it running and all that, I'm gonna start going live, bro. Real shit, I'm start going live. I just came from the game yesterday.
Yeah, I seen that, bro. I had liked I like that one post you have posted about Kyle Kuzma
Bro, that shit was lit.
with the
Yo,
YouTube short.
yeah, bro, these
I was you
dudes
had a
like,
good time
yo,
though, bro.
huh?
I said you had a good time though.
Bro, I love that shit. That shit was fun. I mean, I've been home 2 years now, and
Yeah.
that was a good experience. That was fun. This nigga Duncan Robinson big as shit for real. Like he look little on TV. Bro, he big as shit for real. His head is even
Yeah.
bigger. I'm calling him Jimmy Neutron the whole game. He was ignoring me. I'm calling him
Jimmy
Jimmy
Neutron.
Neutron the whole game. Then my phone went dead out, mad as shit.
Oh man.
It be like a little party in there. How everybody drunk, majority of them anyway.
Yeah, bro. Them
It's like a
NBA
little
game. Yeah,
party.
yeah, because I went
And
to a game a couple years ago, like 2018, when this was like LeBron first year with the Lakers in Charlotte when they played the Hornets.
yeah,
Bro, that shit was so lit, bro. Him and Lonzo both had a triple double that night, bro. And bro, I
yeah,
seen that nigga Kuzma and bro, them niggas was raw, bro. I think Ingram was out with like an injury, him and Rondo. So I ain't see them niggas though, but that bro, like you said, it's like a club, bro. Niggas in it be getting
yeah.
lit, bro.
The little bros coming in, they
That
all
like
on
my
that
second
big
time going
shit.
to an NBA game.
But I ain't paying no
Yeah.
mind. You know I'm married and shit.
Oh shit, no doubt, man. I feel you on that though, bro.
But my wife crazy. I ain't fucking her.
Yeah, you don't want you gotta be careful,
Yeah, she a
man.
detective. She better than Batman.
Shit, ain't they all attempted?
Right. For real
But
though.
yeah.
I just was sitting there because I'm like, yo, I'm talking to a dude. I've been hearing this for a while. You know, I had to just check ticket VHS, and I got something else coming for a show. But I seen
Mhm.
him say first with the trade AD for Cat. I'm like, it don't make sense. How
Oh
the fuck do
god,
you trade? How the fuck do you trade
that's gonna make our team
a
even
proven
worse,
champ?
bro.
How you trade
Right.
a proven champion, my nigga, for somebody who have no playoff experience?
It never even snipped the playoffs at that. How
Yo,
many times AD done went to the playoffs?
huh?
Now, what's that? I said, how many times AD done went to the playoffs? And Cat,
Right, right.
I'll wait.
Even before winning that chip, he still had more playoff experience than Cat. But you saying trade AD for Cat? This nigga just won a ring. We gonna trade one of the most dominant big mans in the league, and that just won a chip for somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's not one of the dominant big men in the league, have little playoff experience. I think he's been to the
Right.
playoffs twice, even once. It's not enough though.
Mm-hmm. See, I
And then
think
he's
T
saying
could
the
be
dude saying trade LeBron James now. I'm ready to get on his ass. I'm gonna make a crazy ass video about this one. But I'm sitting
I can
there
wait for
because
that
the
to
dude,
drop.
like, I understand people frustrations with AD right now, but I understand what's going on. But I was like, all right, y'all saying he not a one, and y'all saying trade him. Make sense though. Trade one dude said trade him for Miles Turner. I say what? Miles Turner for AD. Miles Turner for AD. It don't even sound right coming out my motherfucking mouth. Why? Why would
Right.
you trade AD for Miles Turner? What is Miles Turner doing that AD can't? And what AD ain't doing? I don't understand. AD is
Right.
more
See,
dominant
I think what
offensively.
it is though, M.L.E. though, bro. These niggas be going off emotion, bro. Like,
Yeah, and I was thinking that too. Like these niggas just emotional, everybody mad, but nigga been saying it
yeah.
for a while. Nigga been saying
See,
it for a while.
he ain't really
Believe
been
that shit.
going at Braun like that. He been really been going at Russ here and there. And I can see why, because Russ be doing some boneheaded shit, but then
Like Jeff.
it take Russ a little minute to get himself adjusted to a new team
Yes,
though.
and that's what I said. Like, look at these dudes' careers individually. They whole
Mm-hmm.
career. You know these players. Westbrook always got a fucked up start, not a poor start. His starts be fucked up. Like this nigga just be looking wild. But by the All Star
Mm-hmm.
break, this nigga figure it out and he MVP candidate. Same shit with AD. He ain't always banging in the paint, but somehow he have an MVP caliber season.
Right.
This nigga finished top three in MVP voting multiple years. Over might be over five, but I can count four off the back though. That he finished top three in the MVP voting, but you want to trade him? That don't make sense.
So you know what that is. They want to gut the team so LeBron can lose, bro. With the new niggas they trying to
Right,
get in.
right. That's the big picture. They got to keep
Mm-hmm.
him stagnated. You know, Shorty got a target on his back right now. As far as LeBron, just got the little elbow and shit on the dude, and shit leaking, right?
Yeah.
Why the commentator said it was it was intentional. He said
Nah,
he
it was not
intentionally
intentional.
elbowed. I'm like, yo, Draymond Green could poke this nigga in his eye, and it's a mistake.
Yeah, that
While he
nigga could have
going up
damn
for a
went
layup, it's a
blind, bro.
mistake.
And you know what's crazy? That shit happened to him twice when he played against Golden State a couple years back.
How dirty Draymond is and how I mean he hate losing
Yeah,
to LeBron, even though they fought with each other out the court, but he hate losing to yo. But it's,
yeah,
it's,
he
it's a
hate losing
mistake when
LeBron.
Draymond do it. But this is the first time you hear some shit like this from LeBron, and it's intentional. And then right
Mm-hmm.
before that, this nigga Canna talking about, oh, LeBron should have spoke out on China. It's more rules over principles because he got bit with them. You know how many players is associated with Nike, my nigga? But you
Right,
only call
and
out this one player. Yo, Melo,
right,
CP3, Dame, football players, baseball players, all these niggas got make deals. But you gonna call out yo to say they expect LeBron to say the word. They want this nigga to save China. Nigga, we can't even fix shit in our own fucking country.
on our
But
own
you want this
country,
nigga to
bro.
fix China.
How the fuck we gonna fix China?
What that is? Humble 803 on YouTube, one of my subscribers. Yo, you see the Kyle
What up?
Rittenhouse shit, right?
Oh yeah,
We can't even fix shit home, my nigga.
right. A lot of shit,
And I,
social
I
injustice,
told
all this other
everybody,
shit.
give me a light, bro. you ain't gotta be surprised about the outcome. You should already know that was already happening.
Right, because you playing, because bro, they playing their game. They know like what's bro. We already seen this movie how many times, bro? Too
Too many times. And he a right
many
wing
times.
person, you dig what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was ready to do a video
Yeah.
on that because I wanted to like put a black person in his shoes and see how would everybody look at the situation then. Because
Hmm.
if it was a young black male, he'd be in a cell right now. He wouldn't even be home eating dinner with his family. He'd be in a cell right now. A young
Right.
black man with an AR-15 just killed one white civilian and wounded a few other white civilians. You think he's going home? Fuck no.
See what I got from that case was like for the whole situation was vigilantism, bro. Like
Yes,
that
I
shit
said that
was
too.
just
I said that too. I
mm,
pointed out every reason why he supposed to got felony murder. Now I'm not mad he didn't do it. You know what I mean, it's America. You know what I mean, this is what it is. They run this shit, so they gonna take care of
yeah.
their own. But I
Hmm.
look at it from a black perspective. Put him as a black man. I'm like felony murder first off the rip. If you look at Wisconsin laws, the firearm was illegal in his possession, and they threw that out. And the reason why it was illegal in his possession because he's not even registered or able or legally he's not legally even purchased a fucking firearm. But he said, you know how kids try and get liquor out the bar, right? They might go ask
Hmm.
somebody who older
To
or
go get it
adult,
from.
yo, can you get us this
Mhm.
fifth out the bar? That's what he said he did with Dominic Black. Dominic Black got it for him. He let him hold it. Okay, you
Hmm.
illegally got it. Cool, whatever. But the
Right.
law says that he's supposed to be under the supervision of an adult when he have it. He's legally he can possess that firearm and go to the fire range, go to the woods and hunt or whatever, and it's legal. But he got to be under adult supervision.
Exactly.
But how is an adult able to supervise him if he over 50 feet away shooting somebody?
Right.
That's not supervision. So right there, it's called a felony. Dominic Black supposed to get a felony. And then it raised to a felony for the juvenile because he committed a felony while having that firearm and he's not in hunting grounds range. And if you is on the street, to say you supposed to have it unloaded and in a case. So either way, all that was in violation. It rises to felony murder. You commit a felony, any murder or death after that, you're responsible. So Dominic Black supposed to have been his co-defendant. That's the law. But none of that
Hmm.
happened. And then he said they was trying to steal my firearm. They was trying to
Well,
disarm
my,
a dude
my,
that
my
just
whole
killed
take on it, I
somebody.
thought his mama should have got damn charged, bro. If that's the
Why you
case,
say that?
because she allowed her minor son to go state lines and stuff with a firearm. He's underage, but I
No,
mean,
see, this is the thing. As far as the firearm, you can be a teenager and possess the
yeah,
firearm.
yeah, that's true.
But you
Yeah.
gotta be under a supervision of an adult and you gotta be on hunting grounds or a law enforcement. Yo, on
Hmm.
the stand, this man admitted he confessed to the murders and he admitted to being a criminal by impersonating the officer, impersonating the EMT, impersonating a firefight. He said he did all that. All that is illegal. And then
Right.
he don't. They're not a independent security uh, organization. They don't have a permit to go out there and protect people's properties and shit like that because they're not a private security organization. Right there, that's breaking the law makes them vigilantes.
Hmm.
So that made him a vigilante when he told the dude, "Do not set that fire," and the dude committed arson and he shot him to protect the property. And say you can protect your property, but you can't use lethal force, and it also has to be your own property. So that makes him a vigilante because that's not his property.
Right.
And he also admitted, confessed to traveling across state lines with this firearm, which is illegal in his possession. But the judge had his back. I told niggas that. The judge got his back. And the judge
Yeah,
even,
you can just
just to
tell.
show that he had his back 100%, he didn't want to refer to him as a defendant.
Hmm.
Bro, you know when you get locked up and they call your case? Like, I'm in
Hmm.
Baltimore, they say State of Maryland versus, and they say my name. defendant, and then say my name. That's just the requirements. They say state versus defendant. The judge said he don't want to call this man a defendant in a murder trial. And the dude that got murdered
Mm-hmm.
become a footnote to his own fucking trial. That's America
Yeah, he
though.
wasn't there
That's
to.
why I wasn't
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah.
That's the true face of
Mm-hmm.
America since day one.
But it's crazy because the victim that got murdered and stuff in this situation, they dug up dirt on him saying that he was a registered sex offender.
Right. They gotta do that to try to
Yeah.
tear his name down so they won't feel sorry
Hmm.
for him losing his life.
Yeah, so they can
Regardless of
big up
what he done, you
Kyle.
have no right to take his life. Regardless, he could be a cold blooded killer. You still have no right to take his life.
Right.
And you can't call people criminals for trying to disarm a murder suspect.
Hmm.
This nigga shot him and fled the scene. He's a suspect in a murder, bro. Right out the rip.
See, I think at the end of the day is he's been considered, he's one of them proud boys, considered a daggone hero
Right.
because he was he was being a medic for people. He was looking out for a business, and he did the American thing, to save people, and you know
Yeah, he did the American thing. The bully racist shit. That's America.
yeah,
Because if he was black, every person that got shot, every person that died, they'd have been considered patriots and died with honor. They died
right.
being patriots. They died trying to disarm this suspect. This dude got
Hmm.
shot trying to disarm this murderer. They'd have destroyed whatever black man you could put in place, a black juvenile. They'd have destroyed him, bro. But since he's
Mm-mm.
white and he's right wing, of course he was gonna beat that. But yeah, this dude was talking about yo being AD not being a one, and I was trying to figure out like why is you saying that and how, because 2020 all these dudes were saying that AD was the best player in the world and the best player on the Lakers.
He did say that. He said, "Oh, yeah, AD was leading because I mean, if numbers don't lie, he was statistically number one, and not in every category. Like he would
A
literally
lot of
everything
categories. He was number one in a lot of
assists.
categories, and that's what I
Mm.
told him when he said it. I said regular season right now, yes, you could say he statistically the best player on the team, but when you look at, and that's why I said I wanted to ask that question without using LeBron. When you add this guy into the equation as far as the best player on the team, it comes into leadership and also how he controlled the game and rally his team. You dig what I'm saying? That's what a leader does, which makes him a better player, which makes you the best player on the team. And when we got to the playoffs, he proved it and left with the Finals MVP because he did more than AD. And then he led both teams in multiple categories: points, rebounds, assists, all that good shit, and
Hmm.
walked away with the Finals MVP. Now you take LeBron out the equation. How AD is not a one. That's what I'm asking people, and they really don't have no valid reason. Just because they upset about a few games. Because you can't say consistently you go through this man's career and you can say somebody like Marcus Smart that outplayed them the whole season. Somebody inferior or smaller bully AD and outplayed them his whole career. No, you can't. That's impossible for you to do it because this nigga was ranking in top 5 players multiple years,
Right.
finishing the MVP race multiple years, top 3.
Hmm. It's bro.
And right
It's
now,
it's it's crazy.
Lakers don't have an identity. You got starters who haven't played one game. As far as Trevor Ariza, to be specific, he hasn't played one game and he was a starter. And then they start throwing M.L.E into the lineup. Oh, you got all these different lineups. You got all these changes. That shows we don't have an identity. When they closing out the fourth quarter, it's been multiple lineups. There's no identity when you got multiple lineups. That's on Vogel. But Vogel got the
Hmm.
excuse because it's been a lot of injuries. Vogel would have been fired if we ain't had no injuries and we had all our players and this shit been going on. Vogel be gone.
See, I think the reason they not trying to fire Vogel at the moment because they want to see how he is if he can coach a full healthy roster.
Right. That's what I was saying. He gonna always have that excuse until all our players get back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once
And
all
I
our
kind of,
players get back and it still look like that, Vogel out the door.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't want Vogel to get fired because it's kind of gonna be like one of them things where they gonna have to start all over like training camp. If that's only if they get rid of the whole staff, you know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
ain't gonna do that. What I believe is ready happened, what should have happened, what was going to happen last year and the year that we won the chip. Jason Kidd was gonna be the head coach if we'd have been doing
yeah,
poorly, but we wound up doing great and winning the ring. So you can't fire this man. You have no
mm-hmm.
reason to fire Vogel now. And then last year we got injuries. You can't fire Vogel because niggas ain't playing. Niggas injured. That's not on Vogel. But now all this shit that's going on, yes, it's on Vogel, but it's still players missing. So what? From the off season, day one, every player that signed up and got their roles, they got what they supposed to do. They're not here doing it, and they got different roles now because players been out. You got people who had to fill up THC uh, 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 responsibilities. People who had to fill up LeBron responsibilities. People who had to fill up Trevor Ariza responsibilities and Kendrick Nunn responsibilities. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
blame Vogel.
That's what I've been trying to tell people. And people been getting on me, calling me crazy. I'm like, bro, it ain't solely mainly Vogel's fault. It ain't LeBron's fault. You know,
Right.
LeBron been out. Uh, I think the main person that really been kind of been slacking is Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And when I was on Bang Chat, I was telling him, I agree with you. A lot of that shit falls on AD. Why? Because he's the one. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, he's leading the league in offense. The offense runs through him because he's the first scoring option. And also, he's the defensive anchor. So both sides of the ball is on him. But he gets a cushion because there's a lot of players injured. And also, Vogel got to do his job. I was on somebody
Right.
else's channel when he asked me about that shit. That's what I was just saying. Because I told him, I said, yo, through these first few games, this first handful of games and all that shit, you're going to see a lot of ugly basketball. You're going to see a lot of ugly wins. You're going to see multiple different lineups and closing lineups. Because Vogel got a lot of talent to figure out, and he got a lot of injured players. So the shit going to look
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And look, it looks crazy. It's mayhem. Now, like I was saying, if you see AD just going hard, 100% like he was doing 2020, and we don't have certain players back who supposed to be starters and all that, LeBron out, we don't have an identity. It makes sense. And he just getting injured. And let's say he did it and did get injured and he out for the rest of the season. Would it be would it make sense? Would it be worth it? No. How would it
Not
be
at all.
worth it when LeBron out? Your starter been out. Your second man off the bench is out. And he risks getting injured and missing the playoffs again like he did last year. You don't want to repeat the same mistakes you just did the following season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the prior season, my bad. You just did that the prior season, and this nigga missed the first round. We lost. You ain't gonna do that again. So once everybody get back, and there's no excuse for Vogel, there's no excuse for the team, and they still playing like that, that's when you come out with your judgment. Yeah, AD, he gotta get it together, or they gotta trade him.
Yeah. See, I think
But
what's really killing me is that they not really running no offensive sets though. Like
bro,
I'm really not. Everybody just standing around too much, bro. Like they
look,
scared.
they
Boy,
ain't putting no effort. If you look at these niggas when they playing, only at certain times you see like, damn, that's the Lakers because they got it together. They doing what they supposed to do. But majority
mm-hmm.
of the game, you see them just not putting forth any fucking effort, any effort at all. You got Westbrook taking shots from he out there bitch shooting like he Steph Curry. He ain't been doing that his whole fucking career.
Right. All he been doing is slashing.
Right. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I'm pretty sure they got it in mind too. We don't even have a fucking identity yet. I'm not going 100% and like LeBron say, activating playoff mode when we don't have our identity and key players not even here.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense. Because
It's
the
kind of it's
real
kind of remind me
basketball,
of that 2018 season though, M.L.E.
huh?
I said it's kind of giving me like that 2018 season again though, bro. Like
Yeah, I said that too. That's what it's looking like, and you're a massive trade, but you're not right now.
with Luke
It's
Walton
not
as the
going to
coach.
happen because of what I said about the injuries, and they don't have an identity. Now, once they get healthy and they still don't have an identity, that's when you'll see a 2018 massive trade because you have no excuse. Somebody just got to go.
Yeah,
You got to break
somebody
that shit up.
getting bounced up. Yeah.
But if you got a healthy squad and then y'all figure out an identity, then it's go time. They got to do what they got to do.
But you know what? I could be wrong though. I don't like, just me reading the body language of the squad, the team. It seems like they all getting along, like, you know what I'm saying? But I could be wrong, so we don't know what these dudes, how they are in the locker
Right.
room, outside of basketball. These guys even talk or conversate with each other or practice, etc. But
And I
it
said
looks,
the same
you know what I'm
shit.
saying, like they want to play for each other. Like they all, what I'm saying, Rondo out there, helping out, and you know,
This is a
Dwight,
better team. It ain't like you got a whole bunch of rookies and it's an OKC type team, a Rockets type team, and you can
mm-hmm,
give them an excuse because there's a bunch of new little niggas. No, it's not a bunch of new rookies and shit. It's vets,
it's vets, right? And they
right?
all
And
trying
the
to cook
young
their way.
players, the youngest out of them, all of them is still got some years under their belt besides Austin Reeves and Taylor Horton, Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah, Monk like what 22? He like
Yeah, Monk,
he said some
20,
of the youth.
he in his early 20s. Kendrick Nunn in his early 20s, probably 19 or 20. Taylor Horton Tucker, not even 22 yet. All these dudes, they the young dudes out of our team. The rest of them is vets, and they know their role. They know what it takes to win a chip. They know what it takes to get the chemistry and all that together. But you don't see the effort. You don't see them
Yeah,
responding to Vogel. Vogel is a defensive-minded coach, bro.
that's all it
Everybody
is.
from the Pacers, that's all he focuses on is defense. Now, when you got a whole team that's not responding to a defensive-minded coach that's not playing defense, what's the
Mm-hmm.
problem? The coach.
It's always gonna fall back on the coach.
Right, because they not responding to him. Like I said, you got your slashers, your scorers, your playmakers. It's multiple of them. You got your defensive anchors. You can throw Howard and what's his name, AD as your defensive anchor. Your top playmakers on the floor, generals,
Right.
LeBron and Rondo. You got everything you need. You got shooters, Wayne Ellington, Melo, Kent Bazemore. You got everything you need for a championship caliber team, but they not responding to the coach.
Do you think it might be the system though?
The system,
Because they are running a whole different system. LeBron said that like a month or two ago that they was running something completely different
right?
preseason.
Yeah. Because they trying to. I told people this before, and this is a conspiracy theory, and people will challenge me on it because I said this shit before that I seen LeBron do this on multiple teams. He'll get a injury, and it probably be a minor injury, but he'll sit out and let the team run without him to see how they play without him, so they can figure out what their weaknesses is and what their strength is when he's not on the floor. Because the team need to coexist without LeBron being on the floor. They need to still
Right.
exist. They need to find an identity without him. Because when you're too dependent on LeBron, what happens? LeBron out here playing hero ball. He's too old for that.
He too old for that. And
He in
LeBron
his
ain't really up in
19th
this
season.
game to be a hero type of player anyway though.
And that's why I was asking the dude, well, what makes the 8901? And if you trade him, who you gonna get? That don't make sense. Dude said Miles Turner, my nigga.
Miles
Miles
Turner
Turner.
for AD.
And then I'm like, yo, they're like, oh, you trying to cape for AD. How? Tell me something that I said that's not true. Give me a
What
light, bro. What I
shit.
said wasn't a fact.
Miles Turner, he can't even stay healthy his damn self though. If you think about it.
Exactly. And he's not even a real threat offensively.
Yeah, he's not really a threat. He's more like a glass cleaner or something like that. He get boards, but
Right,
he
he
can't
blocks and gets
offensively
pulled.
change the aspect of the game though.
Right, is he a top five center or a top
No
five big
sir,
man? Period. No,
no sir.
Clint Capella better than Miles Turner.
Sadly,
And this nigga said trade AD for Miles Turner.
and
Nigga, the
look,
Hawks
2
should
years
trade
ago
Clint
we
Capella in
done
a
seen
heartbeat
JaVale
for
McGee
MD.
stop Clint Capella. I done seen JaVale McGee stop Clint Capella. He's like twice his age.
Right, and I'm mad we ain't get JaVale McGee back. And I
Oh,
told
let me,
you,
oh
bro,
my
Kurt
god,
Rambis been fucking up a lot, and people don't even want to acknowledge it. But he the reason
Mhm.
why a lot of deals didn't go through and a lot of players didn't come to the team because he said no. Just like last year and the year before when we was trying to get M.L.E, he told LeBron no. And you know
No,
why? Because he was telling a black man that a white man and white people run this fucking team. You're not coming here and taking over shit.
yeah, because I think in the day they wasn't gonna get Jared Dudley, man. Ticket that made 100 videos about Jared Dudley being on the roster instead of Melo.
See, this is the thing. I agree that they can pick up Melo over Jared Dudley, but Jared Dudley was there for reasons that people didn't acknowledge. Jared Dudley was there for helping out on the coaching staff in the
Right,
locker room.
locker room guy, yeah.
He kept that shit in order because he checked niggas' egos, even LeBron's. That's why LeBron respected him and wanted him on the team and was mad when he left. He
Hmm.
ain't leave by choice. He left because Kurt Rambis ain't want him there no more. And
Right.
they ain't had the money to get at him and they trying to build a better team because
It's
you
real.
ain't on the
M.L.E.
court.
Not a lot of people don't know that Kurt Rambis and his wife, they kind
They
of look.
real instrumental. All right, bro. They real instrumental in what goes on with this team. And G Buzz, she listens to them a lot.
Salute Boo in the chat.
All right, Alex Caruso, you got our best perimeter defender, willing to take less money to stay, and you tell him no. And I understand the reasons why you more focused on keeping THT. He's younger, got a higher ceiling, and also Westbrook getting paid too much money. But you could have sacrificed that from paying multiple other people that you paid because he was going to take less money. All right, so that means you can't get a Kendrick Nunn and anybody else that you gave 10 million to, because the
Niggas
deal
Kendrick
would
Nunn
have
signed
took
for 2
like
years.
15 million a year or some shit like that. He'd have took less
Yeah.
money. He said it himself. He wanted to stay. But Kurt Rambis got involved, and that shit is dead now.
Him and Linda, they are like you said, they are instrumentals of the team, bro. They the ones that like they can say, they it's kind of like a consultant basically. They take a consultant roles with Jenny Buzz trying to make decisions who they want on the roster. Honestly, bro, and bro, you don't have to agree with me on this one. I don't think we should have got rid of Danny Green, bro. Only
Listen,
because the defense.
I ain't really have a problem with Danny Green. I had a problem that he wouldn't knock down shots like
He
he
was
used
knocking
to
down
do,
shots
but I
in spurts of the
understood
game.
why he wasn't. A lot of these players haven't never played under the pressure that you got to play with when you playing with LeBron and when you playing for the Lakers. A lot of these
Right,
players never had this pressure where the media is criticizing every move you make, even off the court.
right.
That's a lot of
The
pressure.
Lakers, man.
That's a lot of pressure. Every shot Danny Green took, it was criticized. Even when he made it,
Mhm,
the media is a microscope on everything you do.
mhm.
But Danny Green still had the defense, and he still
Yeah,
shot
the
like
defense.
33%, 32%, something like that. Hell no. He still shot, yeah, I mean, okay. He ain't shoot what we signed him for.
Facts.
He shot okay, and then we wound up getting the same shit out of Wesley Matthews, and then the pressure got to him, and he started shooting less than what the fuck he was doing with the Bucks.
Right.
It's the
And that's what I
pressure.
said. Like anybody with a basketball mind and I'm saying on the basketball perspective, knowing that even though Danny Green was not consistent with his threes and knocking down shots, he still brought that defense because he was still somewhat of a two-way player that can, he wasn't guarding like the best I mean, he can't guard like the best small forwards and shooting guards in the league, but he still was like limiting like
Right.
because you can't shut down the best players, the greatest players. You can
Blue
only limit
Boat,
games, and that's
Blue
what they did.
Blue Boat, what's up, bro? Sports, Blue Boat, sports observer in politics, my nigga.
Blue Boat, OG Blue Boat in this building, man. Hey, shout out to Blue Boat Samurai Beast Warrior. I do. That's a funny cat. I like Samurai. He funny, man. He be in it.
Man, I fuck with you. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, like people don't look at none of this shit. They just be going off the emotions and feelings. And then when that's what I told nigga, LeBron's not my favorite player. My favorite player is Giannis. Before LeBron became my favorite player, my favorite player was Wade. My
Hmm.
favorite player of all time, he don't even have a ring. His name is Allen Iverson. He the reason why I started playing basketball before I
Yeah.
made bad decisions and went the wrong route. But the reason why I started playing basketball because I looked at him and I related to him. He's little, he got a crossover, he ain't got a dunk on everybody. You know what I mean? And he was successful. MVP, took his team to the finals. That motivated me to want to play basketball. That's why he became my favorite player. As far as Giannis, I see a LeBron situation with him. He on a fucked up team, a low market team, and he carrying. And
Hmm.
then he got a similar game. He just bigger.
Right. And
But I
he's
go to
athletic.
bat for LeBron because I see the same shit I'm saying with AD right now. A lot of invalid hate. Niggas hating on yo for what? Niggas mad for what? Yeah, we losing. That's basketball though. Miami Heat,
Mhm.
when LeBron first got there, it was 9-8. 9-8
Yeah, they were struggling, man. First year,
with
and
three
they kind of somewhat struggled the second year, but they got that under control fast.
right,
Like,
with 3 stars. Wade said how they got that under control. He said he went to LeBron and was like, you know what? We can't win a championship unless you're the guy, unless you're the leader of the team. But I'm gonna teach you everything that I learned when Gary Payton and them was there and I won my ring.
hmm
And then if you go look at that interview with Gary Payton, how they won a ring, Gary Payton said, you know what? The leader gotta be him. And he pointed at Wade. He said, you gotta carry us. You gotta take us to the chip. And they taught him everything they knew.
right. And it's kind of like, look, it's it's cracking down on how they gonna look at AD though. Like everything is solely on AD. Like, and I think AD can, I think he can get through it. Like tonight, what I seen, I don't know if you really watched the whole game, but I think
Nah, yeah.
Once LeBron went out, because I watched it on the stream or whatever. LeBron, he set out. I mean, who he got ejected. AD kind of stepped up. Him and Russ. Even though Russ, he gonna have his turnovers every game, but he had like 3 turnovers. Um, he obviously he
Russ
shot.
always got turnovers.
Yeah, his decision making is like really suspect, but he's still
Yeah, that's
really
been his
good
whole
player.
career. Like key moments of the game, this nigga Russ make the stupidest decisions. It's like that his whole career though. And I made a video and I gave Vogel his flowers when he took the ball out of Westbrook's hands and made Taylor Horton
I
Tucker
seen that.
decision
Yeah.
maker. He posed a bend on that. But when LeBron was playing, that's what he was doing. LeBron take the ball out of his hands and he take over. That's how it supposed to be the whole time. You let Russ run wild the whole fucking regular season until the fourth quarter, key moments of the game, you get the ball out of his hands. And Westbrook, he respect LeBron enough to bow down and let it happen. He didn't respect KD
Mhm.
enough for that to happen. He felt as though they was equals. LeBron got years over Westbrook, and niggas see what he did. A lot of the dudes, when they get on the team, they respect LeBron. They let him do him. That ain't gonna happen with Westbrook and KD. That's why shit went the way it went. Because KD even said he's not a good leader.
Yeah, and KD, one of my favorite players, man.
Yeah, he's still one of my favorite players. Dude from Maryland. I'm fucking rock with you regardless. But
Oh
if I'm
yeah,
being
that's
100 and staying
right.
true to what I know and what I believe, he ain't
Mm-hmm.
proved himself yet. As far as being a leader and a champion and leading the team to a chip, he led the team to the Olympics gold medal, and I give him his flowers for that. It's about time. Now you got to do it in the NBA because you can't say you're the best player in the world and you a leader when you joined the 73-9 team that already was a championship team and went to multiple finals without you.
Without you.
and they had multiple stars already on the team without you.
And
That's
that's
like
another reason
LeBron going
everybody called him out
to
for that shit.
Boston.
We went without you.
That's like LeBron going to Boston after they won their chip.
Man, bro, if LeBron went to Boston, bro, that would have not been a good look for him, bro. Like,
If LeBron would have been in Boston, he would not be in the GOAT debate. He would not be in the top 5 debate. None of that.
at all.
But dude gonna sit there and say KD the best player in the world after losing in the second round in hilarious fashion. This nigga airballed the game winner in the second round, not even in the conference finals, the second round.
Yeah, ticket. He gonna run his mouth. He talking. Yeah, before the game was even over with, bro. He was talking about he the greatest in the world and
Yeah, I know.
all
I
that
seen
other
that shit.
shit.
That's why I put up the shit to get
Yeah,
celebrating KD game winner with his dumb ass. Come
yeah,
on,
that
man.
nigga paid.
Y'all ranking KD above Giannis when the power rank is supposed to be from the previous year. When they first bring it out in the first beginning of the year, they bring out their rankings. It's supposed to be because of the previous year. Sometimes a little like that 3 year, 2 year span. But
Mm-hmm.
if you do that, it's no way you could put KD over Giannis because he's the MVP from not last year, but the previous year before that because Jokic got it. Joker got it last year. But this the dude that walked away with the chip and put KD out. How is he ranked above him?
Right.
I like his game. He a better offensive player than Giannis. Yes. He the he the most skilled offensive player I ever seen in the NBA. Period.
Right.
But he's not a leader. He don't
And, you know,
have
I
the
noticed that
same shit these other leaders had.
KD kind of come off as a passive aggressive type of guy.
Yep.
To me, he does. Like it's just like if you really was the true alpha of the team in OKC, you would have damn just said, you know what, look,
Exactly.
I got a will to win. You know what I'm saying? I can't let Russ get out of control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's asinine, bro. When it comes to KD, bro, and his mindset, it's like he it's like he be hiding from the moment. It's like one of the type of dudes, like, bro, you in a fight, right? You started this shit, but then you got your niggas to back you up and stuff like that. You hiding behind, you know what I'm saying? You don't want no smoke really, but he hiding behind Florida State to prove that he want to be great just because you got them little 2 rings.
Right. He tried to.
Everybody knew he was gonna win, bro.
He said in
Because
an
you had niggas.
interview. KD said in the interview he been told he was number 2 his whole life. He tired of being number 2. So who they was called number 1? LeBron. For him to do that, he got to beat LeBron. He's found an opportunity to do it. Go to the Golden State Warriors. They had him down 3-1. If they had me, we'd have won that last game. So he went there, and what happened? They won.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at it like they just had you down 3-1, and then you go join them. They had multiple All Stars already, an MVP in their prime, 2 of the greatest shooters of all time, a Defensive Player of the Year, a Finals MVP, Hall of Famer off the bench. Nigga, you better win. Fuck you talking about?
Bro,
Like
that whole year
that shit don't make
it was
sense,
like 2K. They was playing pro or rookie level on 2K, bro.
right? That
NBA
shit,
Association on 2K.
that
Hey,
shit is
Lubo
sad.
said, explain the difference between KD move to go to state
Is the
and
worst.
LeBron.
Oh, it's a explain the difference between KD moves to go to state and LeBron moved to Miami. KD moved to go to state is worse. Yes, that's what I was just explaining. All right,
Mhm.
Miami Heat. Before LeBron got there, it was just Wade and the rest of the Heat. The rest of the Heat. They wasn't a championship team.
And didn't they miss
They
the
didn't
playoffs
have
the
great
following year?
regular season record either, or multiple All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Nor did they just put LeBron out of the playoffs and prevent him from getting to the finals. Now, KD, Golden State, multiple All Stars, a prime MVP, just went to back-to-back finals and won one out of that shit. That's the difference between Golden State and Miami. Plus, they not KD rivals, and they didn't just put LeBron. The Heat didn't. I ain't got your letter. Oh my bad. They ain't just put Miami didn't just put LeBron out of the finals, out of the playoffs. Golden State just stop KD from getting there, and then you go join them. That's the difference. Now, if LeBron would have went and joined Boston, it'd be the same situation. Let's say LeBron went and joined Boston after they lost to Kobe, then it'd be
Right.
exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Boston went to the finals 2008, right? And
Yeah, the
then
Celtics went 2008.
2010, they went to the finals in
Right.
2010 and lost to Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, LeBron
Game
would have
7.
joined Boston then, it'd be the same thing that KD did with Golden State. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not what happened. LeBron went to Miami and they created a team by recruiting players themselves. They didn't already have a championship team that know how to play together, and you just add one person. Miami, they built it from the ground up. Miami, Wade was ready to go to Chicago, and they called D Rose and they talked to him about it, how he feel about it, and how they was gonna fit. Then Chris Bosh got in the conversation. It's like, I'm trying to play. They like, fuck it, we ain't gonna go to the Bulls. We gonna stay here in Miami because the contracts work. Wade broke all that shit down in an interview. He like, we formed up together because Boston had 4 All-Stars. They had
Right.
Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen, and Rondo. 2011, when they beat Boston, it was 4 All-Stars against 3.
Right.
And Wade even said, we got together because of you, because Kevin Garnett was the one interviewing them. Because of y'all. We couldn't beat y'all separately. And KG even said it. We ain't fear LeBron. We knew he couldn't beat all 5 of us. Rasheed was off the bench.
Yeah,
But
that's
people
just.
leave all them facts out. Man,
Mm-hmm.
like, bro. People leave
Yeah, I
all
think
the facts out.
they see the haters. They something like I'm a Kobe fan, but I always had like utmost respect for LeBron and what he did for the game and stuff. And still like a fan at first, but said Kobe my favorite player, but I always felt like LeBron, he had to do what he had to do to win a championship. You would have a franchise like Cleveland that didn't really, what I'm saying, do shit for you. You want to waste all your good years and your saying, your wasted talent to do something for a team that didn't even really put you in a position to win a championship. Because first it starts from the front office, the coaching staff, to the roster. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's constructed. I just,
I'm always been
I
Kobe
see
fan.
LeBron as a threat to like Michael Jordan and stuff like that. They that precious Jordan.
I've always been Kobe fan. I just ain't the type that's going to cat for his career. It's a difference
Yeah,
in
I'm the same way.
Kobe career after Shaq and Kobe career pre-Shaq. I mean, while he was with Shaq,
Hmm.
it's a difference. It's not the same player. It's not the same responsibilities. So when people compare Kobe to somebody who doesn't have the same type of career like Kawhi and Kobe fit perfectly. Kobe and LeBron doesn't fit. That's why that argument fits with Jordan. Day one, Jordan was the guy. He was the number one guy. He ain't coming off the bench. He ain't the second option. Everything is on him. Kobe didn't
Hmm.
have that responsibility when he first started out. He was coming off the bench. And then they got rid of Jones, then Kobe. He the second guy. Then Shaq gone. Now Kobe the guy. You can't compare that to somebody who been the guy from day one. You can't compare their whole careers to each other. Because then
Right.
it's lopsided. It's a handicap match because we can count Kobe's first 3 rings against any other guy that's been had the responsibilities of being a guy since day one to Kyrie Irving winning his ring with LeBron. It's not the same.
Because Kobe was never that number one guy. That was first option, number one guy on all three of those
Right.
first
And it's
championships.
not his fault. That's
It
the
is
how the team was going. Now,
right.
once he finally got that chance, he went to the finals. Well, once he got to the finals, because we know what happened, we had the growing pains of him being the guy learning the responsibilities of being a one. Once he figured it out, 3 straight
Hmm.
finals, 2 of them he walked away with.
Yeah.
People just don't want to keep shit a buck. Kobe, he one of the greats. But when you compare him to certain players, it's just unfair. Like I can compare him to LeBron, and it took me a while to concede that LeBron was better than Kobe. Once I put all that in perspective of what I just explained, I had to put all that in perspective before I made that decision. Like, yeah, fuck it, he better than Kobe. I give him that, and I stuck
Right.
with him.
Right. And I think like as an NBA fan, if you really you could sit here, you could dissect all these players and stuff, you could see compare Kobe and LeBron. So like you said, it ain't really fair because LeBron, he not my favorite player, but all the accolades he got, come on, man, that ain't fair to Kobe, man. Like,
Right.
you know, we both said I don't get why these clowns try to put moves in the same sentence.
Hey, which how well I'm ready to drop the joint for you.
Let me ask you this, M.L.E, bro. When you see a team, let's say that the Lakers get their stuff together, do you see us going all the way, bro? Playing against, I know for a fact, Golden State gonna go to the West Conference.
Yeah.
They playing good. They
Reason
number
why
one
I
in the
know that
West. He ain't get Clay
playing
back yet.
great. They playing inspiring basketball, bro.
Strength in numbers.
This nigga Curry, he the shits right now. And the niggas around him, they know they roles. And now they got their chemistry together. They'll hit the link, Blue Boat. They got their chemistry together, you feel me? Now, they could fall off, but I don't believe they get into the finals. But I believe they can get to the conference finals, especially since Clay gonna come back. They ain't ruling that out. Clay supposed to be coming back this year. I believe they can stay afloat until they get to the playoffs and have to
Mm-hmm.
implement him in there. Now, once that happens, I don't know how shit gonna look because James Wiseman gotta come back too. They still might be the shits or even get better, but until they get that part, I don't know. But right now, as constructed, because they still got veterans around these little dudes who stepped up and fulfilled the roles, I believe they still can get to the playoffs, and they can still get top team in the playoffs and get to them other teams like Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
Utah,
Denver.
Phoenix, because the experience level is even. All these teams got other younger players who don't have that playoff experience or little playoff experience, just like the Warriors. But the Warriors still got their veteran leaders, and the championship niggas is still there, so they can work through the mistakes that them players gonna make in the playoffs and win some ugly
Right.
basketball.
Yeah, and I think they really good at developing they players too. Like, Jordan Poole had to buy into his role 2 years ago, while Clay and Curry was out at the same time. Remember when Curry he got hurt in the preseason against his son,
Yeah,
put his hand up and shit like that. So Jordan Poole had, what I'm saying, it was a lot of weight on his shoulders, and they end up, trading D'Angelo Russell for Andrew Wiggins and stuff like that. So he bought into his role, learned the system and stuff under Steve Kerr. And that's what I always say, man. Like Golden State, it goes about being strength and numbers with them, man. Like they can develop players, but you know, Golden State to me has always been like that one trick 20 team. You never
yeah.
know. Anything can happen with them, and it's over, bro. Like,
And dude said niggas been killing Russell Westbrook, right? I don't kill
mhm,
Russell Westbrook, especially because I know he the new guy, the newest guy. He just got there. As far as
yeah,
but while LeBron out, you Vogel got enough to stay afloat when you got Westbrook and AD. Because
right.
Westbrook not selfish with the ball. AD is dominant on offense. And you got a few
Mhm.
shooters around him. And Melo need to get more shots. They need to implement this dude into the offense more than not. And Dwight Howard. When he come off that bench, they can start giving him some low post plays and let him do him. Because you seen a few games like this dude still capable of give you 20 and 10. So why not start giving that man a ball? Start feeding him, and you can also like this nigga Vogel got so much to play with.
Yeah,
Dwight Howard, he can step out and shoot a three. He not elite or nothing like that, but he ain't showed enough that can say that he can consistently knock down threes. But he showed enough that he work on that three, and you can make him step out and take two a game. You know what that's going to do to the defense? If he make one out of that two, let's just say you give him three a game and he make one out of that two, it's enough for the center to go out and try to stop that 1-3 because that 1-3 could be the deciding factor of you losing this game. So now you're pulling somebody out of the paint, which allows Westbrook to work better, which allows AD to not keep getting double teamed because Dwight sitting by the paint and AD low post, we could double team him. And that's what's been happening. They're gonna double team this nigga every time he touches the fucking ball. But if the White keep them honest and he's shooting averaging three threes a game, and at least making one, they gotta go guard him. So now you gotta line up with Howard, AD, LeBron, Westbrook, and M.L.E, DAC or whatever. The paint
right.
open, and you got slashers on the floor and playmakers. These slashers, all of them is playmakers. Now you can play winning basketball because them niggas ain't selfish. Westbrook, LeBron, and let's just say THC Curry and AD and Howard's your front court. Them niggas ain't selfish with the ball. So if they slashing, they either gonna score, get fouled, or dish it out.
Mm-hmm.
Vogel just don't know what the fuck he's doing right now. He got too much to deal
He got
with.
2 eggs in one basket at the moment. Like,
He got too much to deal with. He even had an interview and he was raving about Taylor Malik Monk. My bad. Malik Monk got a good offensive package. He can score. He Shorty could really fucking score. You see the game where who the fuck they was playing and Malik Monk went off in the fourth quarter. I forgot
oh,
who.
my E game.
He could score and he could run the offense. He could play me. So Vogel been playing with lineups, and that's why we don't have
You
an
mean,
identity.
yeah, because you see how he done put DeAndre Jordan back in that lineup.
Right. And that's more confusion. Because, like I told you,
Right.
you got players from day one signed up and they told their roles. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. Now, since certain players was out, you got to fulfill their role. And then when a certain player come back, you got to switch back to the role you first signed up with since day one. But you didn't play multiple games with somebody else's role, now it's time to adjust.
Right. Now let me ask you this, M.L.E. Do you think there's any way we can get JaVale McGee back on the roster, bro? Because it's like, bro, we really I think that's a piece that we really need. Even though he balling out there in Phoenix, they on a damn win streak, bro.
I'm gonna give it a buck. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say two things. One, I don't think it's possible to get him period because I don't think the Suns would let that nigga go.
Right. Even though he on a
Period.
1 year deal.
Right. The thing is, let's say they was able to get rid of him. I don't know if Kurt Rambis is gonna be willing to agree with trading to get him, but I've been said we needed JaVale McGee back. Not only because
I
I
was the
like
one, yeah.
his game, but the chemistry,
The
especially the
chemistry.
chemistry between him and Dwight Howard, like they was like best friends. So it was easy for them to do a lot of shit and adjust to rotations because they already had that chemistry together. But hell yeah, I love that motherfucking JaVale McGee. I've been saying that, but I doubt if the Suns would let him go. He might start getting pushed forward as far as is he first off the bench?
Yeah, he off the bench.
That's what I'm saying. Is he the first guy off the bench?
I believe so.
He the first replacement for Ian, right?
Hmm.
They're not getting rid of him.
See, I was thinking of like when James Jones, he a general manager. Remember he was the one that gave
Yeah,
us
that's LeBron, man. But at the same
yeah,
time,
they gave
like
us Tyson Chandler. Yeah,
I don't know, like that's LeBron mad and all, but JaVale McGee looking good out there, especially the backup Aiton. He a good backup and can move his feet and guard multiple positions.
yeah, and
And
that's what, bro.
comfortably, this nigga could guard 3 to 5. When I seen LeBron crafty, but when I seen this nigga, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? All right, give me a second. Here I come. Yo, I seen this nigga like when he was in the finals on the Warriors and he was guarding LeBron. LeBron couldn't just blow past him. He was in front of him, moving his feet, pushing him back. Yeah, LeBron had to
Bro,
throw
you know
a oop.
what? I'm gonna
This nigga
stop
had
you
to
there.
throw
What
the
you just
oop
said,
off the
bro.
backboard to get past him.
I'm gonna stop what you just said there, bro. He was moving his feet, bro. That's what I don't see with like DeAndre Jordan, bro. Like
What you saying? DeAndre Jordan don't move his feet?
he don't move his feet like JaVale. JaVale,
No,
see,
no, he don't. No, he don't. JaVale McGee, like DeAndre Jordan ain't guarding no small forwards comfortably. If he forced to do it, that's because they switched and they know they could pick on this nigga and score. Like he the weak link. JaVale McGee, he could guard a small forward.
mm-hmm.
LeBron had to throw a oop to himself off the backboard in the finals to get past this nigga. That's when I knew. I said LeBron gonna try to get that nigga on his team, and sure enough, this nigga went to the Lakers and got JaVale McGee down there.
Yeah, had it for 2 seasons.
Right, and he been working on his three.
Mm-hmm.
Every big man, veteran, except probably DeAndre Jordan, been working on a 3 ball now. Even Dwight Howard. For real. Like that practice starts paying off later down the line. Year two later, shit like that, you start becoming a threat from three. Like, and that's why I said, that's why I was saying what I'm saying about Dwight Howard. Later on down the line, and it can actually start this year. He started letting him comfortably just shoot that three and not in trash times. He gonna start making the defense honest of guarding him when he
Mhm.
step out there. All he gotta do is make one, but y'all letting him shoot it. That's the problem. That's when the defense gonna start going out there. Like Dwight Howard, he hit this three, then we down three, or he hit this three, they gonna be up two. You feel me? So now the defender gotta make the choice. I'm gonna go out there and guard him instead of looking at Westbrook and ain't nobody coming out there to guard him and he's shooting his three and missing.
Right.
And to keep it a buck right now, I would rather Dwight Howard take more threes than Westbrook. I believe I don't like Westbrook's 3 point jumper so much that I would rather Dwight Howard get them 3 point shots. This nigga went like
Yeah,
one for seven
that's
from three, or something, 1 for 6. He went 1 for 6 from 3 point line, and I'm like, he took 6 3 pointers. What the fuck is he out here doing?
he's shooting
He
like
ain't been doing
100%.
shit like
Like
that.
he shot like 100% tonight, but he like during the season he shooting like 50%. That's because he's taking less threes, but he making them threes, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm talking about them games where he got too many games where he didn't only made 1 3 and but shot like six or seven or 6 or 5 threes. Like LeBron got games where he did that. Like he had one game he shot like 1 for 10 or some shit, and that one that he made was from the logo. But look, throughout LeBron's career, he's been a consistent 33, 36% 3 point shooter. So, all right, he could get away with that. Westbrook haven't. Through his career, he been 25% type shit. That's like Blake Griffin type 3 point percentage when Blake Griffin was with the Clippers.
Right.
He's shooting 25% from three. And you the guy, hell no. That's not acceptable at all. That's not Westbrook game. Westbrook game is slash, score, get a foul, or dish the ball off, or shoot the mid range. That's his whole fucking game. But lately, he's been out there acting like he's Steph Curry and taking all these threes.
And you know
And then I
what? And
started
they,
thinking, like, why is he doing it?
them running that the Lakers running that space and pace offense don't help.
Right. And that's why you see a lot of dumbass turnovers from Westbrook because the team, they not used to that. Like you said, it's a new system. They not used to that fast paced system. So Westbrook, when he moving the way he moving, they not moving at the same pace, and then he turning the ball over. I done watched this
Mhm.
nigga throw the ball to a defender, and I'm like, yo, it wasn't even no teammate right there. He moving too fast. It's not even a teammate right there, and he turned the ball over to the point it started looking like he purposely did it. Even though I
Right.
know he didn't purposely do it, it's just that's his pace.
And that's the thing with Russ, though, man. The Lakers gonna have to figure out some way to make adjustments. Either you know what I'm saying, you can't just get rid of the assistant coach, not that I know of, but I would say the Lakers will probably have to try to adjust to Westbrook's game and let him do him. But then when LeBron he got the ball in AD, they gotta run like some pick and roll stuff, or
Right.
something that can create something
No.
that's gonna create offense.
He didn't really play. Ain't no more edge, nothing. Ain't no more strength. My bad, bro.
Oh no, you good, bro?
Yeah, I'm at a party, get together for real. So I was
Oh
telling
shit,
my
man.
wife make a plate for
Get
me.
right, man. Get right. Get right.
Gotta make a plate for me. Fuck that. For all this food gone.
Hey, you know how it is. You know how gotta,
Yeah, but look, Westbrook and AD, and that's why I say look at these players and look at their whole career. Look at Westbrook and OKC. He ain't even having an elite big man as far as elite on offense,
mm-hmm.
but he getting Steve Adams buckets. He getting that man buckets, and a lot of his assists is coming from Adams because it's easy to draw two defenders to you and lob it to Adams or push it back to Adams, and then AD he more quicker than Adams. He got a better offensive game than Adams. There's no way them two ain't supposed to be a dynamic duo while LeBron is on the bench or LeBron ain't even in the fucking game
Right.
because that's Westbrook game, and that's what helps him when he playing. Another elite big man. For real, he can make any big man look good for real. And them on the eggs. The double eggs. Yeah. You know. That nigga was making them big man on OKC look good.
Mm-hmm.
Who they was playing? The Raptors. Oh, they just beat the Raptors. Go State on fire. That's not that this nigga Siakam plays for the Raptors. Hell no. You know what Rondo told niggas? I knew could nobody beat me and LeBron in a 7-game series.
He did say that.
You think it's gonna happen again? Fuck no. Ain't nobody beating them. Them niggas healthy. AD healthy. Westbrook healthy. You nigga got Westbrook. Just make sure AD and LeBron healthy. And Rondo there. Ain't nobody beating them. That IQ too high. It's too much IQ on the court.
Way too much IQ on the court, and it really helps because
But that pick and roll with Westbrook and AD supposed to be way better than what it is. And
supposed to
I
be a
think
lot
that's one of
better.
the problems. Them two right there probably ain't get to the point that they need to be for its chemistry. And the
See, I,
losing,
I was one of them people that I was an advocate for them to play. I said years ago, I said they should play together, like years ago, like
right,
2016, 2017. I
right.
said I said if Westbrook and Anthony Davis ever played with each other, it's gonna be a match made from hell for a lot of people, a lot of defenders.
From them losing, it's frustrating AD, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
frustrating.
80s, yeah,
It's
he's
frustrating
frustrated.
Westbrook too, and that's fucking up their chemistry.
I think Westbrook, he know deep down inside that it's gonna take him a little while
Thanks.
because he's not going to change his game for nothing because he's stubborn like that. he said, AD, he's there. He's talking about how the team got to play better. He's telling what they need to work on and stuff.
You know what
Westbrook
AD
not,
said?
uh,
You know what AD said? What? He said we need shooters, not triple double machines. That's how I know their chemistry ain't where it need to be yet.
yeah,
And
it's
that's
not where
because
it,
of
yeah,
them losing and in key moments of the game, Westbrook doing dumb shit. Hell no. Because Dame ain't leaving nowhere.
Oh, that's Dame's fault. Dame should have never done. He know he not gonna win in Portland.
Don't pick him. Dame ain't leaving Portland, bro.
They always say not all the best players gonna win a championship, and he one of them.
Put my hoodie and shit on. Hey, my hoodie and shit, yo. What'd you say, bro?
Now I was like not all the the great players, not all the best players is gonna win a championship, and he one of them.
Yeah. If they don't get this shit together and win this year, Westbrook ain't get no ring.
Yeah, Westbrook. Yeah, Westbrook. Melo ain't gonna get no ring either, though, man.
Just like all this KD compares to KD compared to LeBron. I told niggas, yo, if LeBron get Melo and Westbrook a ring, man, I'm cussing anybody out if they compare KD to LeBron. I'm already feels that way that they do it now, but definitely if he do some shit, if he do that shit, there's no way you can compare him. Like this nigga made it work with Russ. Fuck no. And KD, he had Russ while Russ first became into his prime and all that.
Right.
You look at even in that finals that they lost to LeBron, look at KD assist numbers. Most of his assists was coming from KD anyway.
Mm-hmm.
People was acting like he wasn't passing KD the ball. That's a lie.
He fed KD the rock like every possession that even when they wasn't even open, bro. KD, he kept feeding KD the ball, bro.
Yeah. It'll make more sense if niggas said key moments of the game Westbrook didn't give KD the ball. Yes, I agree with that because I know Westbrook. He already said like he was the alpha and KD wasn't, so he's not gonna give him the ball in key moments.
Mm-hmm. I still think they could have won a championship, though. But
Huh?
I still think they should have. They could have won a championship together.
Yeah, if KD would have came back like he told them niggas he was gonna do, they probably could have won a ring. But he lied to them niggas.
Yeah, because
KD told niggas he was coming back. We gonna go get them niggas next year. And then next year they see KD, he down there with the Warriors. All this. My bad. I'm still here, bitches. He told Dion Waiters that. Westbrook that. Not hot water.
they didn't give me that steal in that game, man.
Huh?
I was still playing little 2K, man, chopping up with you.
Hell yeah. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready.
But shit, bro, I ain't gonna hold you up too long, bro.
Huh?
I said I don't know how long you're gonna be on the stream or whatever, bro. I don't.
Oh no, I'm about to dip out. I'm gonna come back live in like half hour.
All right, bro, man. Shit, y'all be safe, man.
All right,
All right.
bro. Bro.